The gentleman of the hour. This gentleman started off as just a stand-in. Not that there's nothing wrong with being a stand-in. You have to start somewhere. But he pursued. He's been a feature actor in several films. He also is contracted for 8 more. He is a part of this television network programming of flipping and in real estate and so forth. He's absolutely astounding. And in fact, they did a premiere in Los Angeles last night on one of his last films, of which he drove to be in, and turned right around and came back because he felt that we were all important to him. Without further ado, and he's going to talk to us about becoming an actor, what it takes, and then a program that he's put together to help others fulfill their dreams in the world of acting. So without further ado, let's bring up, round of applause, Keith Kramer, right now. Woo!
Thank you very much, Margie. My name is Keith Kramer. I'm an actor and model here in Las Vegas. I started 2 years ago, December of 2016. In my first 9 months, I gained more work than most actors do in the beginning in 5 years. So I began to wonder why I made it this far and what it took. But before I get there, I want to give a huge thank out because this is why I am where I am today. I want to thank Steven Sebo for coming out today. He's our camera guy and video guy, but he also does Vegas Live with Nina and does a tremendous job for her. So thank you, Steven, for coming out, as well as David Orlov. Thank you for coming out today as well, camera, and also Victoria, thank you. Now, I want to start at the beginning. Before I got into acting, I was living in Minnesota. I lived there most of my life, and I moved out here 6 years ago. I was working for an auto center, and I finally realized that I needed to put more worth on my life. I was working in the pits, hour after hour, making little money, and I finally made it to the top to where I could do sales. I told myself, you know what, put me up in sales, and I'll get you guys to that $1 million mark. They said, no, you're too quick, we need you in the pit. I said, well, you have 2 weeks to change your mind. They put me up top. They said, you know, if you compete in the week with these guys, we'll keep you up top. Otherwise, you have to go in that pit again. In that week, I beat all 5 salesmen combined. I had 9 months left in the year to get them to that $1 million mark, and I only missed it by $4,000 on my own. I received a 12 cents an hour raise. And my boss received an $8,000 bonus, and I thought, if that isn't the biggest kick in the butt. And I said, you know what, you're worth more than this. I deserve better than this. So I took a chance, and I moved out to Las Vegas, and about maybe 50 miles from the border, I started talking to God, and I said, you know, I really hope I'm making the right decision. And not even a mile later, a billboard comes up, and there's a picture of Jesus up there, and he says, as long as you follow me, you will make it. Now, life has kind of taken me through a lot of struggles. I'm going to take you back to 1996. I had a daughter. She passed away at 5 months old. I was very angry for a long time, and I blamed a lot of the things that happened in my life, and I finally realized that, you know what, she was brought to this earth even for just a short time. She was to teach me a lesson, and it taught me that I could be compassionate for other people, but still achieve my goals in life and not have to take it out on them. So I thank my daughter for that. Now, to get to my career, just before that I was actually working for a company. I was doing life and health insurance, and some friends had talked me into putting up a profile for a talent site. And I said, you know, I'm 47 years old. Who in the heck's gonna want me at 47 years old? You know, it's a career I've always wanted. And they said, no, trust me. I said, well, I tell you, I'm gonna prove you wrong. I'll put the profile up on the talent site, and I won't get a hit. Not even 3 weeks later, I got a feature film, which has now received over 14 awards at the film festivals. Wow. From that point forward, I went on to do such commercials as the Las Vegas Raiders commercial, as well as I worked with American Ninja Warrior, and now I've done 6 more films on top of that. 5 commercials. Just did a 6th one the other day with Sasha Belletti. And now I'm starting 8 more films, 2 TV series. I'm working on my 3rd. So what I want to tell you all is that, business can be tough. Life can be tough, and it's always going to send you these challenges. But it's all in what you take from it. I could have lived out the rest of my life being angry about my daughter dying and blamed everybody, but where would I be? I'd still be in that pit back in Minneapolis, Minnesota, making that 12 cents an hour more raise. Okay. From that point, it's all in how you choose to see it. I'm kind of getting speechless now. I get a little choked up when I talk about my daughter. She is my rock in my life. Even though she has passed, she is with me every single day. So for all of you out there, if you're looking to do any kind of commercials and things like that, please think of me when you do that next, as well as Sasha Belletti. And I also want to give a huge shout out to Miss Lene Zoe Forbes as well. Thank you. She has done so much for me. She's helped me to fill in those little gaps that I have in my acting career, and also build a career with taking the flip out of real estate as well. It's her birthday today, so I want everybody to give a big clap. Thank you. Yes, and it's also it's your 3-year anniversary today with your company. Yes. So congratulations, Lene. And I've been told that we need to keep it a little bit short today because there is another event coming up, but yes.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah, I have a question.
Yeah.
I graduated the UCLA Theater Arts and Film School at UCLA, and many of my friends are actors. I know how difficult it is in that industry. I'm curious if you can share with everybody what you've accomplished in less than 2 years. It's amazing. What were some steps that you took to get all these roles? It's not an easy thing.
No, it's really not. It really begins with being able to market yourself in social media and things like that. And that's kind of where my sales expertise came in handy, as I was able to get to reach the people. And one of the big things is you don't want to blend in with the crowd. So I always thought of a different way I could get out on social media and get people to notice my posts. And I started taking my pictures and creating artwork and things like that. But I also wanted to send a positive message with it, because that's kind of my ultimate goal, is to get into positive television and be able to show what actually the beautiful things are going on in this world instead of always the negative. So when I went from doing that, then I started getting a following. Well, from that point, I realized that I was getting more reach from people as long as I was engaging with them. They like to see that I was engaging, so that's the way I always was engaging with the people. From that point forward, I said, okay, well, now that I have that part down, how do I manage doing my social media as well as getting out there and looking for those acting gigs that are out there? Because I started missing those as well, so I started to manage my time a little bit better. I hired, it's called Legal Shield. They handle all my contracts for me. And from that point, I was able to kind of split up all my work and be able to get it all done on my own.
When you said that you started like putting your talent information up first, but without any background, what did you throw up there for talent? I mean, if you didn't have anything to show you've done, is that what you were saying?
Well, more or less what people are very interested in people who are always busy and on the go. So I always was posting things that I was always out networking and things. I always kept people in the loop as to what was going on in my life. And the people that drew attention to it, it just kind of expanded from there, and they were telling their friends, and now I have over 7,000 people that follow me on social media. Yes. Oh, as far as being able to act, or? Yes. I'm going to give you a huge example. I was given a call. It was about 10 o'clock at night, and they wanted me in this film, and I was going to be playing a lead role. And they asked me, how quickly I could learn my lines. And I told myself, well, how quickly do you need me to? Because I can do it. They said by 12 noon tomorrow. I said, send it on over and I'll get it done. By 3 o'clock in the morning, I had all 136 pages of the script memorized, including my actors as well. From that point on, from 3 o'clock in the morning till 7 o'clock in the morning, I studied film after film because I played a New York City nightclub owner, so I need to get the accent down and I need to get the attitude down. So when I showed up to the set, we got about 20 seconds in and the producer actually had to stop filming because he was laughing. He says, I never realized, I knew I got a good talent, but he said, not to this level. He says, I'm from New York, and he says, and you nailed it. So. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If I help you?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Okay. When Keith and I first talked about him coming up to speak, he had developed a program that you wanted to implement, that where you would be the teacher and the coach, because there are steps, definitely, other than the ones that you've just outlined.
Right.
Exactly. And so in order for everyone to know here that you're going to share some of those secrets and what that program is about and just how soon you're getting ready to release it, why don't you explain?
Yes. So many times I get people that come up to me and they ask me, hey, I want to get into acting. What do I need to do? And they are so absolutely clueless as to how that is done and what it takes. They think it's you're on set for 30 minutes to do your 30-minute television show, and that's not the case. So I've come up with a program that I'm putting together, which should be released by June this year. I'm going to have a CD as well as a class where people can come to learn about the business, learn what it takes, learn about social media, what are the to-dos and what not to-dos in the business, and just basically how to manage your career.
Wouldn't you say it's the common sense approach?
It really is, but unfortunately that common sense isn't always there, I'm finding, so that's why I came up with this program, to be able to help people to figure out that there is no simple way, that it does take a lot of hard work, and by the time they get to those producers are going to look back going, wow, they were really trained well.
Exactly. Well, the common sense approach, in my opinion, is when you have somebody explain the steps that you took or your program, it begins to make sense. And with what you're stating, we don't start at wanting to be the next Sylvester Stallone at A and come the following day at Z, you're Sylvester Stallone.
Exactly.
No, we're using common sense approach, the various steps that you need to take, and along the way, the type of social media that you need to be doing for yourself, or if you're fortunate enough to be able to hire someone. Working together as a team is exactly where it's at. And when you have a coach like Keith Kramer, you're going to be able to accomplish that. So I want you to all stay tuned for this particular program. And it's certainly something any of us can use with any form of application in our life. Is it not?
Absolutely.
Okay, Keith.
All right.
Carry on.
Thank you. Yeah, so anybody who wants to reach out to me after this evening, you can definitely connect with me through social media. But I also just come and speak to me. I'll get you my information to contact me as well, so we can work together. This is going to be a networking group that I'm putting together that is specifically for the entertainment business. We come together, we talk about different issues and struggles we run into in the business and how we've been able to overcome them. Because when you have multiple minds working together to make this happen, I think we can all move up together.
Keith?
Oh, actually, yes. What I actually have coming up now is I'm going to be starting a TV series this next week. From there, I also have a film, another horror film. This is going to be number 3 for me. Going to be starting January 30th as well. So definitely be watching for me. The next one to come out is When the Tables Turn. I play a undercover detective, and that one should be released by March of this year is what I've been told. Yes. Yeah, actually, Bus Party to Hell, my very first film, that one is still actually in over 18,000 Redbox locations right now. It's also being shown on Tubi, Netflix, and several other. It's called Bus Party to Hell with Tara Reid. And we just did our premiere last night for the film Art of the Dead, which is with Tara Reid and Richard Grieco as well. There's some spots, yes, there's a little bit of gore, but the brilliant part about Ralph Konevsky, he's the director of the films, is he's very creative in how he does it. He puts a little bit of comedy into it as well, so it kind of lightens it up a little bit. But that's also how he scares you as well. He catches you off guard, so. Well, everybody has their own method. I mean, there's method acting and different courses that you can take. For me, how I learn it is I convince myself that it is an actual conversation that I have had. How many times have you had a conversation with somebody, you can go back a week later and you can remember exactly what was said? Well, it's all in playing mind tricks with your mind. You convince yourself to do that and you remember everybody's lines along with it. Any other questions? Thank you. Thank you very much. I do. Yeah, I have a photographic memory. Photographic memory. I can actually go through and someone can pick a sentence out and I can tell them exactly what page it's on and where in the paragraph. So, yeah. Pardon? No. No, yes, I try to stay healthy and I pay attention to what my body needs constantly. So I don't always eat right, but I always make those adjustments that I need when I need to. So, yes. Anyone else? Yeah. My goal is I want to get onto a show called CSS Hidden Heroes. It is with Brooke Burke. I think she's absolutely amazing. She does a show called, she does Operation Smile, but she does Hidden Heroes, which travels the world and it highlights people who do things for others selflessly. Yeah, they to give you one story they had on, it was a 9-year-old boy in Ohio. He had seen this commercial where these children in Africa did not have toys, and he thought that was the most absolutely horrid thing, why a child does not have toys. So he went in his closet and he got all his toys out, brought them together and brought them to an organization that could send them, but he thought that isn't enough. And he decided to take it to his school. His school picked up on it, then his school, then the whole district all got involved, and now the entire city is involved, sending their toys to Africa so these children can have toys. These are the kind of stories that I like to see, and it's what inspires me. And I'm apparently doing well with Brooke Burke because she's giving me 3 shout-outs on her shows now. So.
Our fingers are crossed, that's for sure.
Yes. So.
Well, Keith, your program, all that you've accomplished, your up-and-coming movies are an incredible accomplishment. The goal that you have for your own particular programming in order to teach people the steps and what to expect if they want to become an actor. And of course it's for both men and women, and I'm sure children of all ages who want to come up, their parents can come on board to learn. Yes. Now today you've shared an incredible story, a journey. You've shared about your daughter, which is very, 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 very heartfelt. And we really want you to know that we stand behind you, we support you, and it is a delight to have you a part of the Stirling Club Business Networking Group.
Thank you so much. And thank you, Bruce, for having me out as well. I am so honored.
Thank you, darling. Here we go. Okay, and here's Bruce Merrin.
Keith and Margie, you did an absolutely amazing job. Can we get a big round of applause for Keith? When I was at the UCLA Film School, for 1 year we had to take acting, even though I had no desire to become an actor, so I know standing in your shoes what it was like, and I admire and respect all that you've done. And I must say, what he has accomplished in 2 years is amazing. Yeah, absolutely incredible. Thank you for being such a great, great speaker.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm a little shaky. This was, believe it or not, my very first time I actually gave a speech, so I have some brushing up to, but I'll get there.